Trump and DeSantis punt on Social Security, says the Wall Street Journal. This is so friggin' stupid. Oh my goodness. This is just dumb. Take a gander at this silly article here. There's DeSantis with his cowboy boots on, his 3-inch heels, right? Isn't that what they said? To make himself look taller. The DeSantis-Trump Social Security pump. They refuse to reform programs that everyone knows are unsustainable, says the editorial board of the Wall Street Journal. I used to actually value the Wall Street Journal editorial board. I've changed. This is so stupid, man. All right, Trump wasn't on stage during the GOP debate, though he seemed to occupy DeSantis' mind. The former president this spring lambasted DeSantis for supporting Paul Ryan's entitlement reforms. All right, DeSantis is colluding with his globalist handlers to go full never Trump in order to gaslight the people into thinking Social Security and Medicare should be ripped from hardworking Americans. 100% Trumpster. 2 decades ago, Mr. Trump supported raising the retirement age to 70 and creating private retirement accounts. Yeah, well, we all made mistakes. But now he rejects even modest changes to Social Security. All right. When the subject of entitlement reform came up during the debate, most candidates bobbed and weaved like Muhammad Ali. Vivek said the solution was to America's entitlement programs is to sacrifice, basically stop funding foreign wars. And here's the Wall Street Journal. Oh my goodness. Vivek said the solution to America's entitlement programs is sacrificing foreign wars. And so as the Wall Street Journal says, sorry, abandoning national defense won't save Social Security. So fighting foreign wars is the equivalent of not fighting foreign wars is the equivalent of abandoning national defense? The past 2 years alone, Social Security benefits have increased by about $219 billion, about the size of the Navy's budget last year. And how much did we give Ukraine? I'm just curious. I'm throwing it out there, Wall Street Journal, because you said basically Social Security benefits increased by $219 billion in the last 2 years. And you're griping about that we can't sacrifice foreign wars, and yet we spent $219 billion on the Navy alone, and that doesn't include the $100 billion we've committed or given, who knows what the hell, to Ukraine. Don't see anything weird. How much money are we throwing to Israel? How much money are we throwing to Iran? How much money are we throwing everywhere? That doesn't seem odd to you, that the $219 billion is the size of the Navy's budget. That has some issues in there. Maybe we could reduce that. 5% reduction across the board, dude. 5%. But if see, this is the thing. Politicians in the Wall Street Journal is a political rag. There's no other way around that. They say, don't tax you, don't tax me, tax that guy behind the tree. But instead of tax, don't cut my favorite thing, don't cut that guy's favorite thing. We'll just keep raising, we'll keep spending. No one wants to cut any budget. So Wall Street Journal says, no, we can't sacrifice national defense. Huh? Abandoning national defense is the equivalent of, if we sacrifice foreign wars, that's the same as abandoning national defense. You know how stupid that sounds? The true tellers are Christie and Nikki Haley, but no one cares about them. All right, I just find it interesting. $219 billion increase in Social Security payouts. Wonder why? What could it be? What could it be? Oh, yeah. The baby boomers are getting on Social Security. This isn't shocking to anybody. Let's take a look. Whatever this is, the U.S. defense spending increased by $71 billion from 2021 to 2022, in part to ongoing support to Ukraine. So $71 billion. All right, so Social Security increased by $219 billion, which actually goes into citizens' pockets. The spending bill went to $71 billion, which goes to Zelensky's pockets and to fund their pensions and all that. This is why these corporates are so just bad. All right, Mr. DeSantis dismissed the idea of raising the retirement age for younger Americans. When the life expectancy is declining, I don't see how you could raise it in the other direction, he says. They said life expectancy did decline during the COVID things. But COVID's deaths was a blip like the 1918 Spanish influenza. All right, so-called excess deaths this year have returned to pre-pandemic trends, and therefore life expectancy for seniors should too. Should, hasn't, but should. Is what they're saying. At age 65, Americans could expect to live 19.6 more years than they did in 1980. I mean, basically 20 years in 2019, up from 16.4 in 1980. So we're living 3 more years from age 65 from 40 years ago, and that we should increase the Social Security normal retirement age by what? And then they go on here, right here. Life expectancy was 61.7 in 1935 when Social Security was established. If the retirement age had increased in line with life expectancy, it would be about 80 years now. Now, the problem is no one cares what it is at birth, the life expectancy at birth, because the people who are under the age of 60 aren't even looking at getting Social Security yet. The only thing that matters is life expectancy at 65. That's what. So the life expectancy at 65 in 1935 was what? I'll show you here in just a second. No one cares what the life expectancy at 1935 was. At birth, they just care. I mean, if you care about it, it's just dumb because it has nothing to do with Social Security. Because the vast majority of those people weren't ready for Social Security. It's stupid. Life expectancy at 65 is all that matters. Or 60. You can even use 60. I don't care. So now they're saying the life expectancy had grown. The normal retirement age would be 80 by now. No candidates proposing to raise the retirement age to 80, but Mrs. Haley was right to say it should be better reflect increasing life expectancy. Interesting. But yet, again, when life they say, but life expectancy should go back for increasing for seniors too. Should. Hasn't yet then, right? Like Medicare and Medicaid, Social Security would have to be reformed eventually because its current course is unsustainable. Well, you know what else is unsustainable? It's a foreign war crap. There isn't money in the budget. You know this, right? We don't have the money. We're running millions and billions and trillions of dollars of deficits. Again, a deficit, what does it do? It just adds to the previous debt. There is no money, Social Security, Wall Street Journal. The money's gone. How do you not know this? So we'll keep funding Ukraine. We'll keep funding Israel. But man, we're going to freaking tear you up on Social Security because it's unsustainable. But the defense budget is also unsustainable. This is the weirdest thing how these guys don't get it because, you know why? Because they make money off the defense. But denialism by GOP candidates will make it much harder to sell modest benefit adjustments to voters. All right, so I just said a couple comments here. I said, not getting involved in foreign wars is the same as abandoning national defense, says the Wall Street Journal. Okay. And then I said right here, Wall Street Journal makes the most rookie of mistakes when it comes to life expectancy. Comparing life expectancy at birth with the life expectancy of one about to retire. The life expectancy at birth in 1935 may well have been 61.7 years old, but that matters not for Social Security other than the taxes they pay into the system. What matters are the people who are about to go on Social Security. In 1935, life expectancy for 65 years old was 78. Life expectancy for a 65-year-old today is about 83. So you can make an argument to increase the full retirement age for Social Security by the increased life expectancy once one reaches 65, but that would be silly if you had any idea how Social Security chose 65 to begin with. The whole scenario around Social Security was to get older workers to retire so younger workers, more violently situated given the lack of employment, could get work. Some wanted 70 to be the starting date, others wanted it at 55 even. They chose 65 as basically an arbitrary age. There's nothing sacrosanct about that. Raise the payroll tax by 0.5% on both sides. Tax QDI and long-term capital gains as ordinary income for people who make over $1 million, and also incorporate a wealth tax on those with estates over $500 million to fund Social Security. Republicans, this would be a big win for you politically, but they won't do it because they're in all these people are controlled. Republicans are controlled by one side. The Democrats are controlled by one side. Is what you want, you think. At the end of the day, they're all controlled by the same. It's just a fact. Anyway, the idea that the Wall Street Journal, it's just such a bait and switch. I used to fall for this stuff, man. It's embarrassing how bad I used to fall for this. It's crazy. Some guy called me an anti-Semite the other day because I don't want to bomb Gaza to smithereens. Some guy said, "You're an enemy." Watch this article. Just watch the bloodthirst on the right. It's crazy. The first thing on Instapunt. Well, Israel does have a tradition of hunting down war criminals. Israeli minister, we will hunt down all participants in the 10/7 atrocities. And why bomb that? Just, okay, do that. But don't bomb freaking innocent people to death. Crazy. So watch this. Here from Stephen Green. Because the bubble hasn't bounced far enough yet and there needs to be more of it. Israel should not stop bombing Gaza because the rubble hasn't bounced far enough yet. And if you just look at these comments, dude, it's freaking insane. I mean, I was sitting there like, what? Who are these people? I used to be affiliated with this. Israel must and will continue to bomb Gaza. It's a given. It's inevitable. Give some time for folks to evacuate, so it's technically not ethnic cleansing or genocide. So it's technically, I mean, are you even hear yourself turn all of Gaza into a lunar landscape? As long as there's a recognizable thing called Gaza, Israel should keep bombing. It's not bombing Gaza, it's excising Hamas. And this guy says, did it work in Iraq, Afghanistan, and any other times in Gaza? We didn't do that in those countries. May Israel kill every single terrorist. May we show our support to our allies in the IDF. We support your war on terror. May the Benjamin Yahoo drink the blood of every single. What is this? Is crazy. And then this guy says, I don't like Hamas, but I don't like Israel's indiscriminate collective punishment in the form of bombing innocent civilians either. For sure, I do not want my country to be complicit in it. The bloodthirstiness in this form is unfortunate. And 100%, man. I don't like Hamas. What a ludicrous statement. You can't say that from the comfort of your padded desk chair. Hamas is, this whole thing is crazy. And these people just go off on it. The Israelis warn the Gazans where the bombs will fall. So if you're going to warn them, why would... Another butt boy propagandist checks in. As for bloodthirsty history is replete with examples of wisdom. Don't start anything, won't be anything. And this guy's like making a case. A lot of innocents died in Berlin and Tokyo too. And the issue is a lot of innocents did die in Berlin and Tokyo and Dresden and all that too. But that was acceptable. Just as crazy, man. These people are bloodthirsty. No terms save unconditional surrender. No terms except watching the rubble bounce, which should be a start. It's creepy. Anyway, I don't. And the guy says I'm an anti-Semite because I don't support that. You never condemned Hamas, is what some guy said. Yeah, of course I did. Hamas is a freaking clown show, 100% terrorist organization. But if you think Hamas and their paragliders just happened one day to say, "Oh man, there's a breach in the security," without having some kind of knowledge, without having some kind of setup, look, I got nothing to tell you, man. The idea that this just happened on its own because Israel just happened to be looking the other way, saying, "Oh, look over here." It's just no, such a setup. And I don't know why. I don't know why they're doing this, but man, I used to throw in with these right wingers. I used to be that guy too. I used to hate Muslims, man, hate them. Think they're all out to, and I'll never get after 9/11, like 9/12 or 9/13, something like that. Rush Limbaugh said, Muslims didn't do this. Terrorists did it. Don't blame Muslims. I'll never forget that, dude. And while I was like, but Rush, but I was wrong. That was wrong. Muslims didn't do this, and Hamas. Oh, they voted for him. When was the last time they voted? And did they actually vote? What was before Hamas? A PLO? Who wanted the PLO gone so they supported Hamas instead? Who wanted the Russians gone so they support the Taliban? All right, love your thoughts. We'll see you.